So here now topic is Shivaji. So it's also called Rise of Maharashtrians. So Shivaji established great Maharashtrian dynasty. So Shivaji, he was a great warrior and great conqueror in India. He protected, he saved in Hindu culture, Hindu tradition. That's why Shivaji was the greatest ruler in Maharashtra, and he is also called the father of Maharashtra. He is also called father of Maharashtra. Because you see, Shivaji established the Maharashtra dynasty. From Shivaji onwards up to third Panipat war, the Maharashtrians ruled Maharashtra area. The successors of Shivaji and others, they ruled Maharashtra area. But the independent dynasty of Maharashtrians established by Shivaji, that's why he is called father of Maharashtra. So he was born in 1627. In the April month, he was born in 1627 at Shivanir Fort. 1627 April, Shivanir Fort. So his father Shaji Bhonsle. He belongs to Bhonsle community, Bhonsle tribe, Shaji Bhonsle. And mother, so Jijia Bhai. Mother Jijia Bhai, father Shaji Bhonsle. So Shaji Bhonsle, he was the great person in Bhonsle dynasty, Bhonsle clan. So he is also wanted to establish independent Maharashtra dynasty. Okay, so Shivaji mother Jijia Bhai. Because of mother, Shivaji became a patriotist. Because of mother, in childhood of Shivaji, Jijia Bhai used to say the brave stories, moral stories. That's why Shivaji became a great patriotist. That's why you see he has the titles, Shivaji titles, Chhatrapati. The most important title, that is Chhatrapati. Okay, the most important title, Chhatrapati. And one more title he has, that is Hindu Deshodharaka. Hindu Deshodharaka. So he has one more title, Hindu Deshodharaka. So the main aim of Shivaji to protect Hindu tradition, Hindu system, and established Hindu dynasty. So that's why his aim and dream to establish a Hindu dynasty. Okay, you see Shivaji, how he became a great warrior. What was the background of Shivaji? Actually, Shaji Bhonsle, he left Jijia Bhai and Shivaji, and he went to Pune, that area. He became the Sardar of Pune area. So they spent the days lonely. That's why Jijia Bhai made Shivaji a great warrior by telling moral stories and the geographical conditions of Maharashtra area also. So actually this area is called where Shivaji lived, that is called Mawali area. Where Shivaji lived, the area, that is Mawali area. Mawali area, this is nearby west side of Pune. That is maybe Western Ghats. So west side of Pune, that is total maximum it is having the Western Ghats area. That's why the people who are living there, they have hardworking nature. So they naturally they will have a brave mentality, a courageous mentality. That's why Shivaji became a courageous person, a dare person, because of that hardworking nature. So Shivaji introduced guerrilla war system. Shivaji introduced guerrilla war. You know, guerrilla war means sudden attacking on enemies. Okay, sudden attacking. The enemies cannot understand, cannot expect the attacking of enemies. That's why Shivaji introduced guerrilla system. Guerrilla system means sudden attacking. Okay, so this is a guerrilla point. So Shivaji, guardian and political guru. political guardian and political guru, that is Dadaji Kondadev. Dadaji Kondadev. Dadaji Kondadev. He was called guardian and political guru of Shivaji. And he has a spiritual guru, that is also called devotional spiritual guru, that is Samartha Ramadas. Samartha Ramadas. Samartha Ramadas was the spiritual guru of Shivaji. Shivaji contemporary to Tukaram. Shivaji contemporary to great devotee of Maharashtra, Tukaram. So Shivaji, in the guidance of, in the training of Dadaji Kondadev, he was grown up, he was brought up. That's why Shivaji wanted to occupy the areas. So Shivaji wanted to occupy the kingdoms because he formed the group to attack an enemy's army. So he introduced guerrilla war, already I told you. So that's why he wanted to occupy the other kingdoms. So especially in 1654. In 1654. So he occupied Torana Durga. Torana Durga. So in 1654, he occupied Torana Durga. And so whenever he was occupying the areas, actually his father Bhonsle, Shaji Bhonsle, he was the Sardar. He was Sardar of Pune area. It is under Bijapur control, under Bijapur's Sultan's authority. So whenever Shivaji occupying the forts, whenever Shivaji is occupying the forts, so Bijapur Sultan has the fear, afraid of Shivaji. That's why he wanted to arrest Shaji Bhonsle. Then Shaji Bhonsle said, Shivaji, don't do attackings. Don't do attackings. That's why, so Shivaji, he was under the training up to 1656. So 1656 he has not occupied any areas. But here in 1656 he constructed he occupied the most important fort, that is Javali Fort. In 1656 he occupied Javali Fort. This is a main fort towards South India. That's why in 1656 he occupied Javali Fort. So whenever Shivaji is occupying these forts, Bijapur Sultan having afraid, he afraid of Shivaji, he has the fear. That's why he wanted to kill Bijapur Sultan. He wanted to kill. That's why he sent his army chief Afzal Khan. Bijapur Sultan sent Afzal Khan to kill Shivaji. So in 1659, Shivaji killed Afzal Khan. You see, he promised to Bijapur Sultan. Afzal Khan promised to Bijapur Sultan. What he promised? So, I will catch Shivaji and I will take to your court. This is the promise of Afzal Khan. But you see, Afzal Khan went to Pandaripura and he destroyed Vithoba temple. Pandaripura is famous for Vithalnatha temple. So he stayed at Vithoba temple and called Shivaji. But Shivaji suddenly attacked on Afzal Khan. So Shivaji has iron jacket and iron tiger nails. So whenever he came to Pandaripura Vithoba temple, suddenly attacked on Afzal Khan. He teared Afzal Khan's stomach. That's why Afzal Khan army, they afraid of Shivaji and they escaped from the Vithoba temple. That's why he killed Afzal Khan. So in 1659, Shivaji killed Afzal Khan. Okay. So then Shivaji one by one is occupying the forts. Near about 35 forts. Shivaji was occupied and some of the constructed, especially the important Pratapgarh, Rayagad. So he constructed Pratapgarh and Rayagad forts also. So It is the information went to Aurangzeb. Shivaji contemporary to Aurangzeb. So Mughal dynasty emperor Aurangzeb. So because of Shivaji expansions, Aurangzeb wants to arrest and kill Shivaji. That's why in 1662 to 64, 1662 to 64, so in between this time, Aurangzeb sent his father-in-law, that is Shaista Khan. So he sent Shaista Khan. So Shaista Khan came to Pune. He was staying in Pune. That is rainy season. That's why he wants to attack on Shivaji by taking some time, because it's a rainy season. Then Shivaji suddenly attacked on Shaista Khan where he was staying. So he attacked on shelter of Shaista Khan. So Shaista Khan he was escaped from Pune. Shivaji cut Shaista Khan fingers only. That's why Shaista Khan army, it was escaped. So Shivaji defeated Shaista Khan also. So this is the information here. And you see, Aurangzeb finally actually wanted to defeat, he wanted to arrest Shivaji, but Shaista Khan is not arrested Shivaji, because Shaista Khan is defeated, so he was escaped. So Shivaji again, he sent the most important famous army chief of Aurangzeb, that is Raja Jai Singh. Raja Jai Singh. So Raja Jai Singh was the army chief of Shivaji. So by having 50,000 army, Jai Singh was coming towards Shivaji area. Then before that, Shivaji defeated by Jai Singh in a little bit wars, small wars. That's why Shivaji afraid of Jai Singh. So he wanted to do agreement with Shivaji. She wanted to do agreement with Jai Singh. That's why in 1665, it is called Purandar Treaty. 1665. Actually, Shivaji afraid of Jai Singh. So Shivaji has the faith that he has a confidence he may be defeated by Jai Singh. That's why Shivaji, he pre-planned to make a agreement with Jai Singh. That's why, so at Purandar, at the town of Purandar, there was agreement between Shivaji and Raja Jai Singh. So this is called Purandar Treaty. So in 1665, the great agreement between Raja Jai Singh and Shivaji. So we should remember this important date. Purandar Treaty is important date in Maharashtra dynasty. So Purandar Treaty between Shivaji and Raja Jai Singh. Raja Jai Singh was army chief of Aurangzeb. So according to these agreements, Shivaji has to hand over 23 forts to Aurangzeb. 23 forts to Aurangzeb. And he has to give 500 horses to Aurangzeb. Okay, so Shivaji has to hand over 23 forts, as well as 500 horses will be given to Aurangzeb by Shivaji. And Shivaji, along with his son Shambhaji, they should visit Aurangzeb court. This is the main points of Purandar Treaty. So in 1666, Shivaji visited Aurangzeb court. But there Aurangzeb insulted Shivaji, because Aurangzeb is not accepted Shivaji as a Mansabdar. So he has given below rank to Mansabdar. That's why Shivaji became very serious and he revolted. He revolted against Aurangzeb in that court only. That's why Aurangzeb arrested Shivaji and Shambhaji. So with the help of sister of Aurangzeb, that is Roshanara, helped to Shivaji, and they escaped from Aurangzeb prison. So that's why Shivaji escaped from Aurangzeb prison and he reached to Maharashtra. and one by one again he regained the forts which are last two, which are given to Aurangzeb. So Shivaji again he was occupying these forts, but meanwhile he defeated Aurangzeb army also. So the most important thing in Shivaji life, that is in 1674. In 1674, the important thing in Shivaji life, that is 1674, he became the official king of Maharashtra. He was announced as official ruler and king of Maharashtra. So that is then he got the Chhatrapati title. He got Chhatrapati title. So in 1674, he became the ruler of Maharashtra, became the king of Maharashtra. It is called Pattabhishekam. So Gagabhattu was Kashi Brahman. Gagabhattu was Kashi Brahman. So he made Pattabhisheka of Shivaji. So Shivaji became the ruler, official ruler, and Aurangzeb also recognized Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb also recognized Shivaji. That's why from that day onwards Shivaji got a Chhatrapati title. So Shivaji concentrated on South India also. Vanji, Shivanir and Shivasamudram, Vellore, like he occupied South Indian areas also. But anyhow, Shivaji established the Maharashtra dynasty, Maharashtra kingdom, a strong kingdom he was established. So in 1680, actually in 1680, Shivaji was died in 1680. Before 1680, he has one more agreement with Qutub Shahis, the main role by Akkanna Madanas. Shivaji has agreement with Qutub Shahis. So this is also one of the reason to become serious Aurangzeb. Okay, anyhow, so in 1680, Shivaji was died. After Shivaji, his son became the ruler. After Shivaji, his son became the ruler, that is Shambhaji. Shambhaji, he became the ruler. So he ruled from 1680 to 1689. This is the period of Shambhaji. After Shivaji, Shambhaji became the ruler. But you see, Shivaji established a great dynasty. Shivaji kingdom is called Swaraj. Shivaji kingdom is called Swaraj. It's the most important name, Swaraj. The kingdom of Shivaji is called Swaraj. You see, Shivaji has the council of ministers. Shivaji has the council of ministers, that is called Ashtapradhan. Shivaji council of ministers are called Ashtapradhan. So this is most important point we should remember, Ashtapradhan. Ashtapradhan means here 8 kind of ministers. You see, one, in that 8 kind of ministers, one Pishwa, one Pishwas or Pishwa. So Pishwa means this is a prime minister. You know, in Maharashtra, the Pishwas have an important role. Okay, in the period of Sahu, after Shambhaji, there will be Rajaram. After Rajaram, Tarabai. After Tarabai, we have Sahu. Sahu was the grandson of Shivaji, son of Shambhaji. Whenever Sahu became the ruler, from 1712 onwards, Pishwas are started. Pishwas are started. So first Pishwa is called, that is Balaji Vishwanath. Balaji Vishwanath was first Pishwa. So from here, Maharashtra ruled by Pishwas. This is called Pishwa era. So Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao, Bajirao. The most important Pishwas, these 3 people, Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao, Bajirao. Okay, these most important Peshwas ruled Maharashtra. Okay, in the period of Balaji Bajirao in 1661, in the period of Balaji Bajirao in 1661, we have first third Panipat war, Battle of Third Panipat in 1661. We have Battle of Third Panipat. So Third Panipat war in between Maharashtrians and Afghans. In 1661, Maharashtra ruled by Peshwas, that Peshwa Balaji Bajirao. In the period of Balaji Bajirao, the most important war, Third Panipat war, Battle of Third Panipat. So this is between Third Battle of Panipat between Maharashtrians and Afghans. Maharashtrians and Afghans. So in this war, Maharashtrians were defeated by Afghans. We should remember three important battles. Three important battles of Panipat. First battle, 1526, in between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. First battle of Panipat, 1526, in between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. Second battle of Panipat, it is in 1556. Second battle of Panipat in 1556, in between Babur and Akbar and Hemu. 1556, second battle of Panipat, Akbar and Hemu, in between Akbar and Hemu. So third battle of Panipat, 1661, in between Maharashtrians and Afghans. Maharashtra ruler Balaji Bajirao. Balaji Bajirao, Maharashtra ruler. And Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali. Ahmad Shah Abdali. So he was ruler of Afghans. So in 1661, the battle that is called Third Panipat battle in between Balaji Bajirao and Ahmad Shah Abdali of Afghan. But in this war, Maharashtra totally collapsed. Maharashtra dynasty, Maharashtra popularity totally closed. That's why, because of Third Panipat, total Maharashtra dynasty is completed. But anyhow, so Peshwas, this is the period of Peshwas. So after Sahu, it is called Peshwas era. Okay, here in Ashtapradhans, Shivaji Ashtapradhans, first one Peshwa. Peshwa means Prime Minister. And second, Amatya. Second, Amatya. Amatya means Finance Minister. Amatya means Finance Minister. And third, Mantri. Third, Mantri. So, Mantri means Home Minister. So, internal affairs. He can maintain, he can supervise internal affairs. This is called Home Minister, Mantri. And Sumant. Sumant. One more minister is called Sumant. Sumant means External Minister. Videshi Vyavaharal. External Minister. This is Home Minister, this is External Minister. And one more, Sachiv. Sachiv. Sachiv means the Ministry of Correspondence, official correspondence. Okay, the official correspondence letters, so you will receive, you will send the letters, official government letters, that is Sachiv, also called the Minister of Correspondence or corresponding. And sixth, here Senapati. Senapati, Minister of Wars, Yuddha Mantri, Minister of Wars, Senapati. And Pandit Rao. Pandit Rao. Pandit Rao means Minister of religious occasions, religious dates. So he is the Minister of religious dates and religious occasions. You can give the dates, that is Pandit Rao. Religious muhurtas, he will be decided, the muhurtas and festivals like this. He is called Minister of Religion. And next, Nyayadish. Nyayadish. So Nyayadish means Minister of Law. Nyayadhish means Minister of Law. So this is called Ashtapradhan. Shivaji kingdom is called Swaraj. His ministry, council of ministry is called Ashtapradhan. So Peshwa means Prime Minister, Amatya Finance Minister, Mantri Home Minister, Sumant External Affairs, Sachiv corresponding, Senapati Yuddha Mantri, that is the Minister of Wars, Pandit Rao Minister of Religions, and Nyayadhish Law Minister. This is called Ashtapradhan in Shivaji ministry. Ashtapradhan has the most important role in the administration of Shivaji, and here in the period of Shivaji we have two important taxes. That is one Chaut and Sardeshmukh. Chaut and Sardeshmukh. These are two important taxes. Chaut means this is the tax not to attack on villages. Not to attack on villages. For example, you see, Shivaji army is going to attack some other state. So while going to there, meanwhile there will be villages. But Shivaji he cannot attack on that villages. That's why that villages should pay tax to Shivaji. So that is called Chaut. Chaut means it is a tax not to attack on villages. Okay. And Sardeshmukh. Sardeshmukh means it is a tax to protect the villages. It is a tax to protect the village, that is Sardeshmukh. So these are the most important taxes, Chaut and Sardeshmukh. So we should remember these two taxes, Ashtapradhan, and these two taxes we should remember. Okay. And after Shivaji, he was devotee of Tulja Bhavani. Okay. His main aim to establish Hindu Raj, Hindu kingdom. So Hindu Deshodharaka, he has a title Hindu Deshodharaka. So you know, Shivaji, a great courageous warrior and also a great humanist. While going to attack, if any Muslim women are there, so he told his army not to disturb ladies and take the ladies and leave there at home. So this is a Shivaji policy. He strictly ordered to his army, so should not touch ladies while attacking the village, while attacking other kingdoms, should respect ladies. This is the concept of Shivaji. Okay. After Shivaji, so in 1680 Shivaji was died. So after Shivaji we have the ruler Shambhaji. So Shambhaji is from 1689 to 82-89. Shambhaji 1682-89. So actually you see, Shambhaji is not efficient. He has given shelter to Prince Akbar. Prince Akbar, he was son of Aurangzeb. So Prince Akbar revolted on Aurangzeb. That's why Shivaji, Aurangzeb wanted to kill Prince Akbar, but Prince Akbar escaped to Maharashtra area. Then Shambhaji has given political shelter, to Prince Akbar. That's why Aurangzeb became very serious. In 1689, Shambhaji killed by Aurangzeb in Sangameshwara battle. In 1689, Shambhaji killed by Aurangzeb in Sangameshwara battle. Because you see, Shambhaji has given asylum, that means political shelter, asylum to Prince Akbar. Prince Akbar was son of Aurangzeb. So, because of this reason, he was killed by Aurangzeb. After Shambhaji, next ruler was Rajaram. After Shivaji, next ruler was Rajaram. Okay. So Rajaram, he ruled from 1689 to 1700. Rajaram, one more son of Shivaji. Actually, Shivaji has two wives. So elder wife son was Shambhaji. Younger wife son was Rajaram. After Shambhaji, Rajaram became the ruler. But you understand, you remember, when Shambhaji killed by Aurangzeb, his son arrested. His son was Sahu, second Shivaji, also called second Shivaji. His son Sahu, also called second Shivaji, he put in jail by Aurangzeb. That's why Sahu in jail. So, in the place of Shambhaji, Rajaram became the ruler. So, Rajaram, he kept the slippers of Shambhaji on the chair and he ruled Maharashtra area. Okay. Rajaram, he respected his brother Shambhaji. How? So, he kept Shambhaji slippers on the chair or on the throne. Then only he has not sit in the chair or throne. Just he kept the slippers of Shambhaji. Then he was ruling country. So he shifted capital to Satara. Actually, Pune was the capital. So he shifted the capital to Satara. Okay. And in 1700, Rajaram was died. So after Rajaram, his wife Tarabai became the ruler. So she ruled from 1700 to 1708. Actually, Tarabai was a great ruler among these Maharashtrians, but she was a brave, a courageous lady. Actually, her son was third Shivaji. He was a small kid. That's why on the name of her son, she ruled Maharashtra from Satara. Okay. But you see, in 1708, Sahu was released. Because in Mughals dynasty, there were the changes. In 1707, Aurangzeb was died. Whenever Aurangzeb was died, so actually at the time of Aurangzeb death, Sahu was in jail. Okay. So Sahu learned the education in jail only. So Aurangzeb daughter Bairunisa taught education, how to write, how to read to Sahu. Sahu was in jail. So after death of Aurangzeb, in 1707, the last later Mughals ruling was started. So Bahadur Shah Jafar I. In 1707, Bahadur Shah Jafar I became the ruler of Bahadur Shah Jafar I became the ruler of Mughals. That's why Bahadur Shah Jafar I released Sahu. So now Sahu released from jail and came to Satara. So here between Rajaram, between Tarabai and Sahu, there was the war. That war is called Khed War. Battle of Khed. Actually what happened, you see, Tarabai is not supported by Maharashtrians. Sahu is supported by Maharashtrians. Tarabai is not supported because the Maharashtrians are not accepted women ruler. That's the reason. So Sahu is supported by Maharashtrians. That's why there was the war between Tarabai and Sahu. In this war it is called Khed War. In this war, Tarabai is defeated by Sahu. So she escaped to Kolhapur and Sahu became the ruler of Maharashtra. Okay, Sahu became the ruler of Maharashtra. So here you see, in the period of Sahu, so Sahu ruled from 1708 to 1749. 1708 to 1749 Sahu was ruled. Okay, so here he created Peshwa post. So in 1712, Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath became the ruler of Maharashtra. Peshwa became the Peshwa. But you see, original rulers were Maharashtrians, that means Sahu. But Sahu, from this year onwards, Sahu is the ruler, became like a nominal ruler. But total administration under the control of Peshwas. That is Balaji Vishwanath. So he is also called the establisher of Maharashtra kingdom. He is also called the establisher of Maharashtra kingdom. So you see here we have most important Peshwas, 3 Peshwas are there. So from 1712 onwards up to 1761, it is called Peshwa era. It's called Peshwa's era. Peshwas means the prime ministers of Maharashtrians. Prime ministers of Maharashtrians. That's why in the period of Sahu, while Sahu was ruling, he regularized Peshwa system by it's became a hereditary designation. Peshwas they became hereditary rulers. They were recognized, they were appointed as hereditary system. That's why, so we have first Peshwa. So from 1712 to 1761, it is called Peshwa's era. So first one we have Balaji Vishwanath. Balaji Vishwanath. He was first Peshwa. Balaji Vishwanath was first Peshwa. From 1712 to 20, he became Peshwa of Maharashtrians. He is called the establisher of Maharashtra Empire. So Balaji Vishwanath is called establisher of Maharashtra Empire. He has the title Sena Karte. He has title Sena Karte. Balaji Vishwanath has title Sena Karte. Okay, so Balaji Vishwanath, he was establisher of Peshwa dynasty, Peshwa ruling system. After Balaji Vishwanath, his son became the ruler of became Peshwa, that is Bajirao Peshwa. Bajirao Peshwa is from 1720 to 40. Bajirao is from 70 to 40. 1720 to 40. So he was the greatest Peshwa among the Peshwas. You know, he wants to establish Hind Padshaahi. It's a slogan, Hind Padshaahi. So he was greatest Peshwa. He wanted to make strong Maharashtra. So he was defeated. Nizam ul Mulk of Dakkan Subedar in Palked war. He defeated Bajirao Peshwa defeated Nizam ul Mulk of Hyderabad Subedar. Okay, so between them there was Mushigaon agreement. Mushigaon agreement between so Bajirao and Nizam ul Mulk. So he defeated this Nizam state also. So that's why he was the greatest and strongest Peshwa. And after Bajirao, we have one more Peshwa, Balaji Bajirao. One more, Balaji Bajirao. So he ruled from 1740 to 61. 1740 to 61. So in this period, we have great third Panipat war. Okay, you see, Balaji Bajirao, they attacked on Punjab. Actually, Punjab was occupied by Afghans, but they attacked on Punjab. Because of this reason, the Afghan army and Maharashtra army, they fought at Panipat. So in 1761, we have third Panipat war. So in this war, Maharashtra totally collapsed. Maharashtra, it is defeated and totally it is collapsed. So because of third Panipat war, the Maharashtra dynasty, Maharashtra popularity, it's became collapsed. It was collapsed. It is declined. But anyhow, we should remember 1761, third Panipat war. Okay. So here, after this war, who are the Peshwas came to rule? They were very inefficient, especially Madhavrao Peshwa. Okay. So after Madhavrao Peshwa, the total Maharashtra dynasty, it is closed. It is occupied by Britishers. So it was joined in the Britishers dynasty, empire. So this is, we can say, Maharashtra empire. But you see, Maharashtra is inspired, Maharashtra rulers inspired by great saints, especially in the period of Shivaji. We have Dadaji Kundadev, Samartha Ramadas, Bhakta Tukaram. All these saints, they propagated in Maharashtra patriotism and bhakti movement also. So Maharashtra, because of Shivaji, today everyone believes Shivaji is the father of Maharashtra. He established Maharashtra dynasty. So he is symbol of bravery. He was symbol of courageous. That's why. So Maharashtra strengthened by Shivaji and Maharashtra dynasty, Maharashtra empire established by Shivaji. So this is the information regarding rise of Maharashtra. So see, we should remember the Peshwas. In the examination point of view, we should remember Peshwas. Because you see, in Maharashtra, the Peshwa culture, but in any state we don't have this kind of culture. In Maharashtra, Peshwa's culture is started in the period of Sahu, grandson of Shivaji. So in 1712 onwards, from 1712 onwards, the Peshwa's era, the Peshwa's ruling system was started. Okay. So Peshwas are three members mainly. So Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao I and Balaji Bajirao. So this is, we can say, Peshwa's era. In the Peshwa of Balaji Bajirao, we have third Panipat war. So this is the rise of Maharashtrians and the information regarding Shivaji. So regarding Maharashtra, rise of Maharashtra, also Shivaji, so we should have some important points. We should remember some important points. Okay. Shivaji titles, Chhatrapati and Hindu Deshodharaka. Okay, these are the titles. Shivaji, father Shaji Bhonsle and mother Jijabai. You remember, actually Shaji Bhonsle, he wants to establish Maharashtra dynasty. So he wants to establish vast Maharashtra dynasty, but unfortunately has not established. He was a Sardar. He worked as Sardar Jamindar in the period of Bijapur Sultans. He was Sardar of Pune also. So father Shaji Bhonsle and mother Jijabai. You know, Shivaji belongs to Mawali tribe. Mawali tribe, it is in West Pune area. It is a Western Ghats. Okay. So he was born in Shivanir Fort or Shivanir Durga. We should remember he has two gurus. Confusing question, confusing point. So political guru and spiritual guru. We should remember these 2 points. Political guru, spiritual guru. Political guru Dadaji Kondadev, also called guardian, Dadaji Kondadev, and Samartha Ramadas. You know, saffron flag, Shivaji will have saffron flag. It is donated by Samartha Ramadas. Okay, that's why He has two gurus, we should remember, Samartha Ramadas and Dadaji Kondadev. And Shivaji important attackings, especially we should remember Toranadurga Durga and Javali Fort. These are two important attackings invasions. And he constructed Rayagad Fort and Pratapgarh. You know, these are most important forts. He has 35 forts. Overall, in Pune, Maharashtra dynasty has 35 forts. Next, he is a agreement, the most important agreement, Purandar Agreement. We should remember 1665 Purandar Agreement, 1665 Purandar Agreement. It is in 1665 between Raja Jai Singh and Shivaji. This is important point. So, from total Maharashtrians topic, this is the most important point. Purandar Treaty, 1665 between Raja Jai Singh and Shivaji. Okay. And in 1674, he became official ruler, became king, Pattabhishektudu. So, this is also important, 1674. Okay. And Shivaji Kingdom, Swaraj. Shivaji Kingdom Swaraj, this is, we should remember, the kingdom name of Shivaji, that is Swaraj. And Ashtapradhan, Pishwa, Amatya, Mantri, Sumant, Sachiv, Senapati, Pandit Rao, Nyayadish. These are 8 ministers, also called Ashtapradhan. Okay. You see, Pishwa, Prime Minister, Amatya, Finance Minister, Mantri, Home Minister, Sumant, External Affairs Minister, Sachiv, Corresponding Minister, Senapati, Army Minister, Pandit Rao, Religious, Minister of Religion Occasions, Nyayadish, Minister of Law. So, this is called Ashtapradhan. And the important taxes, Chauth and Sardeshmukh. So, oftenly we are getting these questions. What is Chauth? What is Sardeshmukh? Chauth not attacking on neighbor villages. So, they will pay Chauth tax. Protecting of villages, they have to pay tax to governor, that is Sardeshmukh. So, this is the information regarding Shivaji. Then we have, that is Shambhaji ruler. Shambhaji period, we have one war, that is the war is 1689, Sangameshwara war. We should remember this point, Sangameshwara war, 1689. Then one more agreement, Khed agreement between Rajaram wife Tarabai and Sahu. So, this is Khed agreement. Second capital of Maharashtra is Satara. First, actually Pune, then Satara. Okay. Pishwa's period started from Sahu ruling area. Actually, Sahu, he ruled from 1708 to 1749. He was in the jail, Aurangzeb jail. He was escaped from there and he was released, he was released by Bahadur Shah Jafar I. That's why after coming to kingdom, he defeated Tarabai and he became the ruler. From 1712 onwards, Pishwa's era started. Pishwa's era is most important area in Maharashtra dynasty, because total Maharashtra rulers, Shivaji's successors became very inefficient. That's why Pishwas ruled this area. That's why the most important Pishwas Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao I, Balaji Bajirao. Here we should remember Third Panipat War. In 1961, we have Third Panipat War. This is between Afghans and Maharashtrians. Afghan king was Ahmad Shah Abdali. Afghan king Ahmad Shah Abdali and Maharashtra Balaji Bajirao. So, because of this war, because of Third Panipat War, total Maharashtra dynasty is collapsed. Maharashtra total popularity and total dynasty is declined. So, because of third Panipat war. You see, because of first Panipat war, Delhi Sultan's dynasty is closed. Okay, because of third Panipat war, the Maharashtra dynasty is closed. So, these are the important points regarding the Maharashtra, Shivaji and rise of Maharashtra.